What up guys, Mayan here with another music production video. This is video number 4 of the series, how to make a track from scratch. Alright guys, let's do this. Boom. Alright guys, so this is the layout. As you can remember, like we worked on this, like the intro part. So as you can see, I added this element right here, this vocal sound. And then I added in the vocal chain, you know, like the vocal synth. If you haven't checked this effect out, you should. It's amazing. So this transformed this sound, you know, into something different. And the vocal just adds a little bit of ambience. The drums and everything are coming in. So let's see how this sounds by itself. And then we'll add all the other elements so you guys can hear. So this part right here adds a little bit of ambience for the transition of the like heavy parts of the track when they come in. The other thing that I did, it's in the drums. I had, you know, the claps coming in right here, but then I thought, no, because this is like a 32 bar space. So I was like, okay, I'm going to add the claps coming in right here. And before I had the hats coming in right here, right? So I was like, no, maybe that's for like the second part of the track. So that's something else that I did. And as you can see, I repeat this here because it does add some ambience. And then the other thing that I added here, some tribal vocals and some shaman vocals. This is a máscara from Antigua, Guatemala, where I'm from. And it sounds really good. So this is for like the big first break of the track. So let's hear everything. Elements are going to be ramped down as we go through the break. So this element right here, this vocal element, it's going to work with the pad right here. So if we listen to both of them, it works well together. So kind of like responds, and it works well with the stabs. Again, you know, like over here, we also took out the ARP, let it breathe a little bit, and then we bring it back in, and all this other stuff that makes the track move and keeps people waiting for new elements to come in. So let's have a listen to this right here. So right here, you know, we might need a little ramp or something, or maybe add a little bit more delay, but that's going to come later. If we look at the beginning of this part, right, it's pretty similar. It has some elements that come in here. different, you know, especially like this hat and like more claps and whatnot. But I was like, okay, there's something missing, another melodic element. And then I went in and I decided to make this sound. And I need to like finish it off, you know, like add more elements and whatnot. But I think that this melodic part right here just changes the dynamic of the track. And I love it right here. So how I came up with this sound, it's a secret, guys. No, not really. I used IntelliGel Atlantis, and sadly I did not record that because I forgot my stupid hard drive. Then I was like, okay. So I brought it all in with MIDI, but then I was like, man, like if I want to automate this, this is probably not going to work as well for this track. So then I was like, okay, so do I have an equivalent plugin for this? And I actually do have an equivalent plugin, the Tall Bass. First, the arpeggiator from Logic, which is pretty awesome. So a couple of things that I did here is note length, randomness, velocity, crescendo, a little bit of swing, and the cycle length was 32. Then variations, and then the octave range up to 3. So nothing too crazy. This plugin, and it emulates the SH-101 and the Atlantis. The Atlantis is kind of like the SH-101, but in modular. So I came up with the sound here. Then I was like, okay, like let me plug it in to the black hole DSP right here, and the sound was like so full and rich. I was like, okay, how can I do this in the box so I'm able to change things up and, you know, just make it a little bit easier, you know, in the production process. Then I added the Valhalla. Then soon after that, the sounds just started flowing. And I actually just started with this right here at the beginning of the sound creation. So I was like, okay, so if you're new to the channel, hit the bell, click subscribe so you can get more videos. Then I started adding, you know, different parts here, and it ended up going to have this elements here, and this is how it sounds, right? So then I started like bringing things up and down and just moving things around with the arpeggiator. So I think that that's an element that I think it was missing from when we started. Sometimes when you're working with the arrangement, you might hear things in your head that are missing, and that is the time to go back and tweak a little bit, or like maybe add some other sounds. Because I think that now, like this sound right here makes it really, really unique in how things come and like start getting all glued up together. Something simple, you know, nothing crazy. And I think that this one, you know, that like whoop, whoop, is gonna need to come up in the mix. So soon after that, for this part, I added like the other hats, snares, and like all this other like stuff, you know, all at once. And then some other elements started like popping up, you know. And over here, I'm still gonna have to edit a lot of this. So you hear those like little stabs, you know, like in my head, I'm like panning things around for later on when we go into the bells and whistles of the track and like just get the track going. Then the other thing that I started doing is, okay, how can I make sure that the elements are not really fighting with the percussions and the drums? I was like, okay. And I started like moving and chopping things around so it sounds different. It's not the same pattern at all times. So that's gonna add those elements where, like, you know, the track doesn't get boring. Then I started working on the build-ups and everything for the last part of the track. So let's hear it from here. One thing that I did here is just take out a lot of the elements, like the percussive elements and also like the kick and the bass line, just because I wanted those like little staffs to come through a little bit more. So let's have a listen here. So the other thing, right, since I'm like basing it on like the mask from Antigua Guatemala and like the shamans and like all that stuff, I was like, okay, so what if I add like a couple of like jungle sounds to this big break right here and change it up from this sound right here. So then you're gonna have like two different sounds happening. And let's have a listen to it here, just so you guys can have notice the difference. So over here, we're gonna have to change things up. These are ayahuasca like chants. And then I have like different sounds here. So you'll see this is kind of like the build up. And still, you know, like I want to make it more dramatic than what it is right now. So maybe here. Bring that up. Yeah. So now this is pretty much gonna be, you know, like, I'm gonna start killing things out of the track, because this part right here is the outro. You know, I am gonna start killing this with volume just to see how it sounds, so it doesn't like just die out all at once. So of course, you know, this part right here, I think that we're going to use this idea just because I don't think that we need those staffs as often. So let's see how that goes. And I think that not for that part. Oh yeah, and then we're also going to change, I think, this part right here for this. It's a little bit more subtle and it goes well with claps that we have. Let's see what else. Like the same idea here. Let's start making things die down, and that's pretty much it. So regarding the layout of the track, I think that this is it. it works well. You know, like right now, when things start to die down, we're looking at 6 minutes and 45 seconds of the track. So I think it works well. We are able to like start getting into like the bells and whistles of the track. In the next video, I'm gonna go over how I'm going to go about that, what I'm taking out, where I'm like adding elements, you know, to the track as well, just to make sure that the track sounds really good. All right, guys, see ya. Peace. So if you're new to the channel, hit the bell, click subscribe so you can get more videos.